Without further ado, let us say hello to our final guest of the day, our old friend, I think friend, Anthony Smith, who's here to join us. Anthony, how are you?
What's up, Ariel?
How's it
I'm
going?
good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing really well. You know, like I said, I was looking at the text. It was a lot of blues, meaning a lot of text from me, but not a lot of replies. And so then I just kind of threw it out, you know, because I hadn't talked to you after the big win in Singapore. What an inspiring, incredible win that was. Didn't you know? I think I congratulated you in not only on the win, but the heart that you showed and the determination and will was very inspiring. Didn't get a reply, and I was like, okay, you know, a lot going on. And that was several weeks ago. And then I just kind of threw it out there if we're beefing. And I think you insinuated that there might be an issue that needs to be resolved.
Well, okay. I don't think that you're characterizing the amount of blues
There's a lot of
very
blues.
well.
I mean, it's
I don't
like
think no, because I even looked back. One of them was you and I were texting, and you sent me the video with your kid. Right?
yeah.
And you were clearly on vacation, and I was bothering you.
No. I was telling you, like, look where I am. This is crazy. And you're in Singapore, like, we're just living the life.
Right. You were in
I was
did you tell I don't want to like give your business.
no,
anything.
I didn't say where I was. No, I kept that to myself.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So we're completely different parts of the world.
Yes.
So so then there was that. I didn't want to bother you. Like it was an awesome video. It was you and your family, and I thought it was super cool. Like, you know what? He's on vacation. I'm gonna stop doing this work thing.
No.
So then that's
Actually,
how I left
you were
it.
asking me if I could say, can I say why you reached out to me?
Yeah.
You were asking me for the contact of another reporter, which was another knife in the heart because I was like, wow, am I not the guy anymore? Like,
Well, no. So I messed up my media day,
okay.
and I just like I was so jet lagged. I fell asleep, and I slept right through his interview.
Oh,
But I was
no.
like, oh, I'll just hit him up, and we'll just get it on the back end somewhere. But I didn't have his number, so I was like, well, Ariel's got
You
it.
came
I'll
to
just
Old
hit
Faithful.
Ariel.
You could have went to UFC
Yeah.
PR, but you know, like I'm here for you, no matter where I am.
Yeah,
in the world.
then I'd have to like get out of bed. I'd have to go down to the PR office. I'll just text Ariel.
You don't have PR
So
on your phone. You don't have text for PR.
no, not really. I just do my own thing, bro.
I appreciate
do
that.
my own thing.
I come to mind when you think of
Yeah.
media. I come to mind. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just hit up Ariel. He'll know.
Okay.
So then I didn't want to bother you with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then post fight, I must have gotten the message, but I don't remember getting
Sure,
it. But I was like, it was in the hospital. It was like 2 a.m. It was a big old disaster. And then I missed the morning message when you asked me to come on here. I feel like you're playing the victim here.
Okay, but
A little bit.
But then you said like, "Hey, I did think that there was something." You thought I was mad at you.
No, wouldn't say mad. I think I felt like I annoyed you one time.
When?
Trying to remember. It wasn't that long ago. See, this is why it's tough having these conversations when we're on air.
This is good.
Because I don't know what you've said or what you haven't said. You know what I mean?
Good.
I don't know what's public.
No, it's okay. What was this during an interview?
No, I was asking. No. This was privately, like through text. I was asking a question. It was when you were like really heavily 10-7ing people.
Oh, yes.
And I because I get into that shit.
Oh, and I got into an accident. My car got smashed, and you happened to text me right when that happened.
Right, and I was like, why is he being such a dick? Like I'm like into this shit.
Oh my God.
Talking about it, and you're like,
no, we can talk about
it.
This is what happened. Chris Curtis was on the show, and he mentioned me fighting the Schmo. And then I was like, yeah, no thanks. I've already addressed this 1,000 times.
I was trying to I wanted to know what you and the Schmo's beef was.
He posted like a 3-page note thing on his thing saying it's on site and all this nonsense. And then you, I guess being the gossip, gossip.
Yeah, I wanted to know what your beef with the Schmo was.
Literally like a minute after his tweet, you were like, what's the beef? And my car got smashed in the midst of this. It was not a great day for me. And I'm like, yo, I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Like my car just got totaled. And so did I take that on you? Did you feel like I was, I mean, it really did
a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Because then I was like, I genuinely wanted to know what the beef with you and the Schmo was. And then you just like blew me off. And I was like, all right, well, okay, fine. It's no big deal, I guess. And then you were like, well, I got in a car accident. I was like, I don't know. He might have just made that up because
no, it was true. No, I really did.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it was worse than that. My car was parked outside my sister's house. The car was a week old, and my dad backed out and smashed it to the point it cost $20,000 to repair that car, which had probably 500 miles on it. Yeah, it couldn't have been more new. And he felt horrible, and I feel horrible, and like I can't get mad at my dad. He's my dad. Like, what am I gonna say?
Right.
And
You're not even allowed to be mad about it.
Yeah, it's like the guy's giving me a car in life, and then some. So it was just, and you it was like your timing couldn't have been worse. But if you want, I could talk about it because I saw actually that's it. That's our beef. I thought it was deeper than that.
No, that's it. I'm
And
sensitive, bro.
you held on
That's
to
it.
that for
I
that
don't
long.
even honestly. I'm like past whatever that beef is. I don't even care about that now.
That was
I
in
was just
April, by the
at the
way. You held on to this for 5 months.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm sensitive.
That's why you
Everybody
didn't.
knows that.
That's why you didn't reply to me all these times.
No, that's not why I didn't reply. I just that the reason for not replying was I'm the worst
You're the
like
best texter
replier
in the business.
when you can get me on the phone for
Okay.
sure. I'm the guy like in the friend group that everyone screams at because I never answer.
Okay. Wow. So I should actually be thankful for how often you do respond to me.
I mean, that would be really arrogant of me to say that, but
No,
yeah,
I mean, with perfect punctuation, it's never a sloppy text. We've talked about this.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I feel like we're past it now.
Okay, we're good. Like you,
Let-
I guess.
Let's start over again.
Okay. How are
Okay.
things?
They're good. They're good.
That was
Busy.
an
You know?
incredible win. It seems like you still have a black eye.
Yeah, it won't go away. It's
Wow.
the weirdest. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Like it'll start to go away and then it'll come back darker again. I don't know what's going on.
What was the injury in the end that you sustained? I mean, the eye was pretty banged up, but what?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. I mean, there's a little bit of damage on my eye, but nothing that's like serious.
Wow. Could you see? Like in the middle of the fight?
During that round, not so well.
Holy smokes. How
It took
close
a little while for it to clear up.
how close do you think you were to being stopped?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably closer than I'd like to admit. I would imagine. Probably closer than my own ego wants
Mhm.
to realize. But I there's so many crazy things that go on during your going on in like in your head and your self talk. You know, there was a lot of self pity going on while we were down there for sure.
You mean before the fight?
No, 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 no. When all that shit was going on in the second.
Oh, like that you're just saying to yourself, like what kind of things are coming to mind?
What you know, I've just had just had some bad luck with just injuries and circumstance. This sport is a lot of luck. So like sometimes things just fall your way a lot, and sometimes they don't. And that's just the game. You know, it's that's just you got to chalk it up to the game. But you know, you're down there and you get beat up, and like things were going really well in the first, and they started to go well in the second, and I just felt really good. I had an incredible training camp, an incredible weight cut, everything. Nothing could have been more perfect. Um, which kind of just embodies what MMA is, right? Yeah, everything
Right.
can like the most perfect scenario can be ruined just like that. So I'm just, you know, like, of course, why would you expect anything to go well? This is just your life. You're an idiot. Like it's always something stupid, you know? So you got to just talk your way out of that a little bit. But
You're having those thoughts in the fight. Like it's one thing, like I doubt myself when I'm sitting in this chair or when I'm in the car. You're in a fist fight. You're in a
oh, it's like wicked self. Yeah, it's like you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing?
wow.
Like how'd you not see that? You know, like oh now you can't see. Like you're I don't know. It's just how it goes. It's how it goes.
There was something about that fight week and that fight. I'm wondering if you felt the same. Like I felt you you very much flew under the radar that week. It's
Oh
in
yeah.
Singapore. You're not like usually you're on an American card. It's a big card. It's a pay per view. This and that. That one was very much built around Zombie. Max
Mhm.
obviously is a big star. There was just a tragedy in Hawaii, so like there was a lot of attention on him. And it's coming off the Sugar Show and all that stuff and what happened. And I was like, I had to almost remind. I was like, oh shit, Anthony's like back. Like you know, you're not like your typical Singapore co-main event fighter. Did you
Right.
feel like you were flying under the radar?
Oh, I totally did that on purpose.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I asked to fight on Singapore.
Wow, why?
I asked to fight internationally. And it really the opponent didn't matter. I don't know. I just wanted to just get away, you know, and just for all the reasons you just said. You know, Max Holloway is a superstar in every way possible in the sport. Korean Zombie is beloved by everybody, especially with the Korean Zombie is in Singapore. I knew that those two would take the bulk of the media obligations, um, and it would mainly be, especially with Korean Zombie likely retiring. I figured it would be pretty big. Obviously, didn't nobody foreseen the terrible events in Hawaii, but that was definitely a big distraction from everyone else on the card. So I really enjoyed it.
Wow. And so how was the experience like in Singapore? I hear great things about Singapore. Everyone's so nice and
Yeah, it
so
was
clean.
cool.
Yeah,
It was cool.
you
Yeah, it was
enjoyed it?
super cool.
Fans were
Yeah,
good?
I had a good time. Yeah, I like me and my best friend. I always try to bring my best friend everywhere with me when I fight. So we went out. This is like we're on like a bunch of man dates. Like it was like riding the gondola and checking out the city. It was a lot of fun.
How long were you there for?
Got there Sunday before the fight.
Okay, and was the fight in the morning there, during the day? When was it?
No, it was normal like nighttime.
Oh, it was no okay, okay. Because
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't sure where yeah, I was okay. I was on a different time zone, obviously.
Hmm.
And so overall, what were you feeling going into it? Like, we talked after the last fight, it didn't go your way, you didn't feel good about it. Were you doubting yourself fight week? Were you more did you feel like this was do or die? What were the emotions? What were the thoughts?
Oh no, I felt really good going into the fight. I had a lot of confidence, especially because of the way the first fight went. I knew
Mhm.
that in every excuse me, sorry.
No problem.
In every way, I felt like I was better than Ryan Spann. So I didn't really have to focus too much on him during the training camp. I just had to worry about getting better and working on my own holes that I think down the line are gonna, are gonna pay dividends. Not necessarily so much in that specific fight. And I think that was a great mindset. I think it really worked out. I knew that it was going to be a much tougher fight than the last time that we fought because that's how the game is. Like at the highest level of the sport, it's really hard to beat the same person more than once. So he'd already felt my speed, my power. He'd seen some of my decision making. He felt how good, how the grappling was. He already had a lot of data, even though the fight wasn't super long. He got a lot of data from it. So
Mhm.
I knew that Safe is an incredible coach and Ryan's a great athlete. I knew that they'd make a lot of adjustments, and they did.
How did it feel at the airport? Like, not the airport, the hospital. You said that it was weird. It was a nightmare. What happened there?
At the hot, well, I was just there forever,
Oh,
and but nothing crazy, just a long time. I was there forever.
like, what is
Yeah,
forever?
like 5 hours,
Oh,
just
really?
to like,
Just to get
yeah,
checked out?
just to get checked out. And then I got stuck in Singapore for an extra day. Our flight got canceled, and
Oh, no.
so that was a mess.
At that point, you just want to go home, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to go home.
Does
Yeah, I
it
was ready to go home.
is it uncomfortable to fly when your eye is all, swollen like that?
It has been in the past, but oddly enough, every flight the swelling went down more. So it actually was a kind of a relief, to be honest. And I don't know why that is, because
Okay.
there wasn't any real damage. The punch wasn't even that hard of a punch. I probably only took 30% of it. It wasn't like a clean flush shot. It was just the way it landed and where it landed.
It's a weird thing, right?
He did a good job. He did
Yeah.
a really good job. I think Ryan Spann grew a lot, to be honest. Like we've seen him be a really good hammer and not be very good at being the nail for periods of time and being able to turn around with the momentum. And I thought that he probably, I don't know if he feels like this, but I felt like he grew a lot, like just emotionally. He was able to, I could see even after he thought he was going to get a finish and I got back to my feet and I was still pushing forward. I could see a little bit of doubt. Like I think he was a little bit tired from kind of that little bit of a sprint. And I could hear Safe kind of talking him back into it, like you got to circle and breathe, and then trying to get him to respond, and he wasn't really responding to his coaches, and so I could see like he's having this internal battle right now on which way he wants to go, and he chose to step forward, and I that takes a lot of bravery, to be honest. So I thought I thought he did some really great things, but I think the best things that he did was fight that internal battle to keep pushing forward.
That's very kind of you to say because I feel like the sentiment afterwards was that he blew it, that he had you on the ropes, so to speak, and he blew it. Do you feel like that's unfair?
Yeah, I think that's unfair. It looked really bad, I think. I think it looked worse than it was, but if you kind of just go back and re-roll the fight, like other than that 1 minute span, he didn't really have a whole lot going on with me.
Mhm.
Like I thought the first round was pretty clear. Um, I remember taking one solid shot in the first round when I threw like a naked kick and didn't get my head off the line. And then in the third was kind of just me being like I just played to the judges. I just know what they're looking for. So like for the first time in my career, I just tried to win the round. I've
Wow.
never done that before until that fight. But I just like you like the game or hate the game, like you're an idiot if you don't play it. So like I know what they're looking for. I don't really care what the fans think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know what the judges are looking for and what their criteria says that they need to judge on. So I just made sure that I played the game and just stayed ahead.
What are they looking for?
Some of it's action and it's more being effective. Like if like Ryan can throw 3 big hooks, and as long as I cover them and I win the counter game, I'm gonna win that every time, no matter how big his movements look. Like the big actions, if they're not clean, they're not really gonna get scored. So if I throw 5 jabs at 70% and they all land clean, and he throws 3 big hooks that all hit my shoulders and arms, then I win those exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like it. It's not exactly how I like to fight, but I also like 2 checks. So, I kind of just, Mark Montoya told me I had to win the round no matter what. Like, no matter what you do, you have to win this round. So that's what I did.
You're still in the show win model?
Sort of.
You've graduated from that. We need to fix that.
I mean, it's pretty heavily front loaded.
Okay. All right. So it's not like a 50-50 split.
Oh, no.
Okay. You've been around, you've seen it all, you've done it all. In May, people are like, he should retire. In August, people are like, look at the heart. He's such a legend. Look at that.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for years.
Yeah, but is it like, save it. Spare me all this. Like, how do you
How many times have I come on here with you and tell you the fans are fickle?
yeah.
And then people, as soon as I say it, people are tweeting it right now. As soon as that word came out of my mouth, I'm guaranteed we're both getting tweeted about it.
Yeah.
But I've said one day they'll love you and the next day they'll hate you. And like people will chastise me for that. But if you go back and you look at all the media about me, it was everyone saying that he's done. He doesn't have the heart. He's a quitter. He doesn't have the same will to win anymore. And then sure as shit, now it's like it's just it's the world we live in.
Yeah.
And I just don't listen to it. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't notice it though. That's the difference. Some people will say, "Oh, I don't even see it." Well, we all know that's untrue. I could care less, but it's not that I don't see it.
Who's next and when?
I don't know. The UFC actually offered me a fight in December.
Oh,
I'm just physically I can't be ready by December. So
the 16th?
No, I'm not gonna. I don't want to get in trouble, but
Well, you just said what's the difference? You said the month. What's the difference with the day?
because you can't get too
Jeez.
like
Also,
too
you
specific,
getting in trouble?
Ariel.
You're freaking. You freaking run the joint.
I see. I try not to get in trouble. That's why I don't end up in trouble.
Fine. Jeez, who's the opponent? Or who was the opponent?
I don't know. It's just a guy. It's just a guy. They offered me a fight, but I can't. I just physically I can't do it. Like again, between you and I, and every millions of people listening.
Yeah.
I just got some things going on with one of my eyes, so
okay.
We gotta just let that do its thing.
Is this as a result of the fight, or is this completely different?
I think it's probably a little bit of just previous stuff, and then I think a little bit of the fight too, for sure. But I don't think it's all from just the fight. But I think January, February is what it sounds like. It's what the doctors are saying. So, yeah, I'd like to fight January, February.
What's up with this guy, Alex Pereira? What's going on over here? What's
so I don't know, man. I don't get it.
Where did this beef come from?
I don't. If you want my honest opinion, I think that the Alex Pereira that we see now, I think is a really good character in the MMA space when he has an opponent. And I don't mean like just in the octagon. I think in like the media, I think that's just I think he's having fun with it. I think he likes having someone to jab at and respond and go back and forth with. I don't actually think he probably, unless there was a misstep in the translation, I don't think he actually believes that I was out there talking trash about him. Like, I'm an analyst, so of course at times I'm going to say things that maybe don't make you feel that good. But I've never criticized his style other than his jiu-jitsu, and I don't even think he would go out here and claim that he's some black belt level in jiu-jitsu. But specifically what he was talking about was my media day. And I think something got missed in the translation, because I did say he's just a regular guy in the division, but like I was talking about his size. Like he's an average guy at the top of the division as far as his size. He didn't look that much larger than Jan Blachowicz, and Johnny Walker is 240, 250. Aleksandar Rakic is 250. Yuri Prohaska is pretty big. Jamal Hill's 240, 250. Like he doesn't stand out size wise amongst the 205ers. That's what I was like. That was the part of it I think that he got angry about. And I went on to say how special he was as far as being a kickboxer and his striking. And I don't know. He got angry.
He threw out that Photoshop poster of a grappling event. Is that Is that even? I mean, they've done it, right? Especially in December with that invitational fight pass. Is this of interest to you, or I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I would, but like, do you think he would?
I mean, he threw it
Not a
out.
chance.
You don't think so?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Why not?
Not a chance.
Why would he throw it out then?
I think it's just him taking jabs. Like, you know how it is, Ariel, in this media world. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be true. You just have to convince people that it's true, or that you want it to be
He
true.
doesn't strike me as that guy. Maybe I'm misreading him. But let's just be clear. Could you even compete in a grappling competition on that one that GSP is competing on in December? Not a fight.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think that's what he was implying. Let's try to make this happen. Unless you don't want to make
Isn't
it.
he supposed to be fighting Yuri Prohaska? Of course I would.
I know,
I
but he
would
threw it
take
out.
that.
Yeah.
I would grapple him in my front yard right now.
How would it
Just,
go?
it doesn't matter. So I would smoke him in a grappling match. Um, but like, isn't he supposed to? I don't know why he's not like talking trash to Yuri.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy. Like, I understand trying to drum up some business and drum up some intrigue into what you're doing and things in the division, but like, someone needs to be in his ear saying, like, if you're gonna be talking all this shit, you need to do it to the guy that you could be fighting for the title.
Maybe because he knows you have the platform and you're gonna and Yuri's
Yeah,
not, a compliment
maybe.
to you.
It could, yeah, it could be. Could be.
Yeah, I'm hearing that's gonna be either November, December.
What is the
Uh,
title?
yeah.
Yeah, so he's not grappling me in December.
If he fights in November, he could do December.
That's true. What do you think of that fight?
I love it. I mean, it's fascinating. Um,
Yeah.
it probably doesn't go to the ground. Here's the thing. Alex, I think, is for MMA a very technical striker, right? Like his
Hmm.
technique is, I don't want to say textbook because MMA, as far as striking, is a little bit of a, like if a box, we've talked about this for years. Boxers look at MMA strikers and say like, what the hell is that? But he's kind of the bridge, right? Because he was a kickboxer who had great success that came over. I would say Yuri's striking is not technical and is not textbook, right? I mean, he does probably a lot of things that you're like, wait, how does this work? Like
Yeah,
he
but
does it.
it's effective.
It's effective, right? So the question
Mhm.
is, does the effectiveness of Yuri's awkwardness or uniqueness, supersede this guy's power and technique,
Right.
or does that win out? That to me is why it's so fun. I don't think one takedown will be attempted. Maybe one by Yuri. I can't imagine
Maybe
Alex
Yuri
do
by
it.
Yuri.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But I love it. I mean, it's just what the doctor
It is
ordered for the
fascinating.
division, right? It's the
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
because there's been so many weird things. Do you think it's weird that Jamal is still listed as champion, or is that just like a weird? Like I was just asked about that earlier. They technically didn't.
That's funny that you asked that, because I when they showed him on the broadcast over the weekend, it said, light heavyweight champion on the screen.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's weird. I wonder if they just didn't. I don't know. I thought it was weird. Not, I mean, because he's the one who came out and kind of relinquished the title.
yeah.
So maybe they have to wait, and maybe they just don't want it to say it's vacant. They'll just wait until it's two other people
There's the
fight for
next
it.
fight. Yeah, they've done that in the past, but like for Amanda Nunes, it says vacant, like in the bantamweight division.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was weird too when I did see it pop up as him still being the champion.
Right.
Good for him though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, hey, why not? He's one of my good friends. He's a big fan of mine. I don't know if you've.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, he's a
I
really
hear.
big
I hear you
fan.
guys.
A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
hear you
people
guys
like
get
to.
along
You
great.
you and Bisping don't really do it. It's probably, I think, because Bisping, I think, has something in his contract where he's not allowed to acknowledge my presence. But a lot of other people on YouTube do it where they put my name in titles and they get a lot of views off that. I don't know why that is.
I don't think Bisbing has a problem with you.
I know.
We actually use your stuff all the time. I
I'm
was like,
just
what are you
kidding.
talking about? Bisbing likes you. We constantly say, oh yeah, Ariel, he does a good job. Here's
No,
what
I'm just
was said
kidding.
on Ariel's
I'm
stuff.
taking the piss, as they say.
Yeah, I know. We definitely don't like use your name for clicks though.
That's fine. That's fine.
Fuck, we should start. That's a
Yeah, I
good
mean, it
idea.
works for Chael and Jamal.
Is that okay if we do that?
Go ahead. Yeah. I mean, you
Well, I
guys
was
give
going
me
to.
enough.
I'm going to anyways.
You give me
I'm
enough.
going
Say,
to anyways.
Ariel Helwani is an idiot. Go for it. You'll see. It works. And then you have to put
You
like a
think so?
screen grab of yourself, like a big close up of you mad.
And like a well-cooked steak.
Yeah, well cooked steak. Put me in like a clown costume with the nose and the hair.
Oh, that's a great
Or
idea.
like devil, like turn me into like a fat Jew, like who's holding a bag of money. Like just go all in. You have my permission.
Perfect. Perfect.
Who would, if they say to you, who makes sense next? Who makes sense?
I think Jan Blachowicz did a I feel bad saying this, but Jan Blachowicz did an interview, I think came out today.
Oh,
Someone sent it to me saying that he thought that maybe him and I made sense. I don't disagree. I like that one.
I like that one a lot. Why
Um,
do you feel bad saying that?
well, because I interviewed Aleksandar Rakic on my radio show today, and that's who he wanted.
Oh, wait,
So
you
I feel
interviewed
like an
Rakic?
asshole.
That's
Yeah,
that's news right
yeah,
there.
yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
When did this air yet?
Yeah, it was live on
Oh,
Sirius XM.
look at you.
Yeah.
How'd it go? I will check that out.
It
But how
went.
did it go?
Yeah, it went great. He's doing well. He's looking to fight. He wants to fight soon.
You guys are
Sounds like he
cool.
wants to. Yeah, we're all right.
Who
Yeah.
set this up?
I did.
You reached out?
I had Kelly reach out, my
Uh,
producer.
nice.
Yeah.
And he
But
said
I
yes?
talked to him. I ran into him at not this most recent Paris event, but the one before.
Yeah.
And him and I sat in the hotel lobby, having a drink together for like 30 minutes, just chit chatting. And, I think we kind of, at the time, we were just getting past whatever weird thing we had going on. And then that kind of just completely squashed it. And we've just kind of here and there kept in contact through Instagram. And with all the weird stuff going on in the division, I think a lot of people forget about Rakic.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of wanted to check in on him to see how he was doing.
Wow, how nice. And so you enjoyed it. It was a friendly
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a great conversation. He's healthy finally. It's been 16 months since today was 16
Crazy.
months from his surgery.
Holy crap, time is flying. So here you
Wow,
are,
right?
very nice guy, mensch guy, reach out to Rakic, former foe, potential future foe. He says he wants Jan, then you come on my show and you say you want Jan. What a guy.
Well, see that. That's why I didn't want to say that. Like, yeah, I'd like Jan, but honestly, he probably has more of a claim to Jan Blachowicz than I do, just because of the way that fight ended. And
What about
they
you
kind of had
guys
some
fighting?
unfinished business. Me and Rakic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would for sure.
Imagine you bet him on and then you fight him next. Feels like there's some
weird,
unfinished business there.
What I need to do in the division is stop making friends with all these guys.
I know. Geez.
Like I'm I'm friendly with Rakic. I was friendly with Glover. I'm like friends with Jamal.
Alex, you're not.
No.
So there you go.
We were just in Salt Lake City and I seen him and Glover in the back and like shook his hand and like it was all fine.
Who do you think wins that fight?
So I knew it was something after that.
Yeah.
That I said, because I'd said like I'd been critical of some of his style, like his jiu-jitsu and wrestling and stuff before that, and he didn't have anything to say.
Who wins that fight?
Wins what?
That
Which
one. Yuri and Alex.
I'm leaning Alex.
Okay.
Because Yuri's incredible. I like everything about that guy. Actually, Aleksandar Rakic had a lot to say about Yuri today, which I thought was kind of, I don't know, they have some weird kind of beef because they're like, like location wise, they're very close to each other.
Yeah.
And he doesn't believe this whole samurai, live the way of the spirit thing. He was like, I've heard stories of him being in clubs and pubs and getting in street fights, and like a month later he was this like samurai weird mentality.
Oh wow.
So like that was actually some like tidbits I never heard before. So I knew there was something there, I just didn't know what it was. But anyways, Yuri's proven to be hittable, very hittable. And I just don't know that you can be as hittable as he is at times and get out of there with a win with Alex Pereira, because he gets hit off balance a lot. That's more the bigger issue, at least in my opinion, because he is so free and flowy and kind of creative that he ends up in funky ass positions taking punches. And I just don't know that Alex Pereira is probably the guy. He could get away with that maybe with a guy like me who's not the most powerful puncher in the division, but Alex is.
I won't keep you much longer, but I'm dying to ask your opinion. I know you guys have talked about it on your show, Believe You Me with Michael Bisping, and your radio show as well on Sirius XM. But now that a few days have subsided, the 10-8 on Saturday, how egregious was that in your opinion? How bad was that?
Really bad. It's really bad. It's tough to like, when I was working the desk for that. And so it's tough to like go on ESPN and just go off on a tangent. But I mean, that's like literal fucking theft from Valentina Shevchenko. Like, and I thought initially watching the fight, I thought that Alexa Grasso won. Like while standing there watching it, and when it was over, I was like, I think Grasso won. And then you see the scorecards come out, and you're like, even if I believe that Alexa Grasso won, a 10-8 round there is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely like if round 5 is a 10-8, I thought she was closer to being finished in round 2.
Right.
So I don't under I don't know. I don't get it. And I know that each round is judged individually, but if your criteria that you're going off of and your own education on the sport tells you that round 5 is a 10-8, I don't understand why he wouldn't have scored round 2 a 10-8 previous to that. It just that doesn't make that's the weird thing for me, like the inconsistency.
Yeah, no, it is crazy, and I agreed with everything that Dana White said yesterday,
That
including
probably doesn't happen often.
no, I did a whole thing that was like, hey, everyone says I'm too negative. Like I went through 4 or 5 sound bites of his, which I agreed almost with every
Hmm.
single point that he said. So just proving that it can happen, and we can be friends. We can be on the same page. I
I
agree with
hope
his
so. I hope
sentiment.
to see you guys be friends again.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
Anyways,
I would love to break bread one day, but um, he said that unfortunately this will never happen, and this has been something that I've been campaigning for a while. Should the judges, should the officials have to explain themselves publicly? I've tried over the last 3 days in talking to Nevada, put out something, put out a statement. Now, the one thing I got was we're having a seminar today and we're going over 10-8. It's a special seminar. We've called this special meeting. We're going to go over it with all of our licensed officials. Great. That is an
hmm,
acknowledgement, in my opinion, that something went awry, stopping short of saying something went awry. But
hmm,
I don't think if they brought Mike Bell, who, by the way, I feel bad for Mike Bell. He's not a bad judge. Historically, he doesn't screw up in these situations. But hey, people have bad nights, and his vantage point, who knows? I'd love to hear his vantage point. I'd love to hear his POV. But if they brought him out to the press conference, no one would show up holding pitchforks. No one would try to embarrass him. We just want to know. And if they didn't want to do that, put out your own statement. And if you don't want to do
hmm.
that, as I've suggested and others have as well, like in other sports, there's a thing called a pool reporter where every event there's a guy who's assigned. So perhaps on Saturday in Vegas, it's Aaron Bronstetter, and Aaron Bronstetter gets to go talk to Mike Bell and ask him 5 questions, and then he posts that Q&A, and then the rest of the world can understand, including Valentina, why he made this call. But now Dana has to answer it. You talk about it. I talk about it. Valentina, and the one guy who made this life and career altering decision never has to speak about it, never has to explain. That's backwards, in my opinion, and I feel like it should evolve from that. Do you agree?
I totally agree. And I think like you said, no one's gonna be showing up with pitchforks. I really think it would shut a lot of us up. And I think they believe the opposite will happen, that we'll
Yeah.
fire everybody up and give us a bunch more ammo. And I have a perfect example. On today's Wednesday, on Monday, Michael and I are recording the podcast, and one of the subjects that came up was the ESPN middleweight rankings.
Hmm.
They still have Israel Adesanya number 1 and Sean Strickland at like 5.
That's crazy.
And I thought that was crazy. So me and Michael are kind of like going off about it, how crazy this is. And I said, you know what? I'll just text someone that I know from ESPN and say, like, and they're on this panel that comes up with these rankings. And I'll just ask. And so I asked while we're on air, and I get a response. And it's a long, very, very thoughtful, very logical explanation on why those rankings are the way that they are. I still disagreed with it, but I couldn't argue with the logic.
Hmm.
So my only argument to respond was, well, I think no matter what, the champion should be at number 1, regardless of how you feel they move around. If they have the 12-pound gold belt, they're number 1, and then everyone else should fall below that. Using your logic, because it makes a lot of sense. Everything he said made a lot of sense. I still disagreed with it, but it kind of shut me up, even though I didn't agree with what he said. But there was logic, there was a thought process. He could explain it, he could write it down and list exactly why this person's here, and this person's here. It made sense. I just don't necessarily agree with it so much. So
Mhm.
I think that that would be a very similar situation if the judges, in some way, you guys, are better at this than I am, like figure out a way, whether it's the one media person or a 10-minute media scrum or a Q&A type for, I don't know, however it is. But I think if they did have a way to answer some of the questions, I think it would put a lot of us at bay, even if we disagreed with it. If I know the problem is we don't know that there is a thought process.
Right.
Like I don't know what process you used that got you to a 10-8 round. So like there's so many questions. That's the problem. There's so many questions. So even if I disagree with your logic, at least we'll know what you're looking for, or at least know that there is some sort of process going on.
And at the very least, this comes from a standpoint of me trying to then, as a reporter, like our job is to educate the public, right? And say like we spoke to so and so, and this is what they said, blah blah. But at the very least, you, the fighter, Valentina, the fighter, deserves an explanation. This is their life.
Right.
And so at the very least, you should be able to say, hey, Nevada, the same way you sent Herb Dean into my locker room to talk to me, I would like someone to come into my locker room.
Send his ass
Yeah,
back so we
not
can
to
talk
beat him
about
up, not but just like
this. Right.
explain. Can you explain so
Well,
that
what'd you
I
think
can be
about Chris Tione? I
Okay.
thought that was really big of him
That was huge.
to
First
like
of all, huge,
to own that
huge.
and to like to pull the fighter to the side, say, here's what I thought, here's why I made this decision. I was wrong. I apologize.
It was beautiful.
I thought that was huge.
Honestly,
Huge moment.
You never want to see a mistake happen, but a mistake happened, fine. Then they go to the replay. Tremendous. It's 2023. We all have phones. We all have technology. Use the replay. Then they decide, oh, actually, it was a mistake. Great. Loved everything. Then he owns up to it. He doesn't hide from it. Great. My one gripe is, I'd love to know your thoughts because we talk about it on the show. Why can't you restart the fight? Just restart the fight. Show win model. They don't get their win. They don't get their win. And I would be shocked if guys, especially at their stage of their careers, would say, no, I want to go back to the like, no, put him back in the guillotine. Or even if you say, no, it's not fair to do that, restart the fight. Who's saying no to that? Would you say no to that?
No, I would. Yeah, no, I would definitely restart.
Why not restart the fight?
I just feel like there's a lot of liability there. I feel like if you restart it, then some guy loses. He's going to complain and say, well, we were cold. We restarted. That wasn't exactly the same position.
Do you want to restart this fight knowing the repercussions? Yeah. Who's saying no?
I think that'd be awesome.
Why not?
I think in title fights that end in draws, they should have an optional one more round.
That would be sick. Oh, could you imagine on Saturday, one more round?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like the referee comes to the middle and it's like this big, huge ordeal.
Crazy.
And says, we gotta do one more.
It's like the Ultimate Fighter, except it's
the
issue is it would be a 6th round as opposed to a 3rd round.
Yeah, just toss them an extra couple bucks.
Yeah.
You want to win the title or not? Or you want to go home?
Yo, that's that's a tremendous idea, by the way.
Yeah, it's just one more round. No matter what, you're gonna have a winner.
And this leads me to my last point. When are we going to see Anthony Smith in the booth? I feel like you would be great. I really do feel like you would be great. And I'm not trying to take away. I think they have an amazing roster. I think everyone is great. There's not a single black sheep. Truly, they're all great. I can name them all, but I'd be afraid to miss out on a name. I think you would be fantastic. When's this happening?
Yeah, I've done it a little bit, like for like LFA and some just some of the regional shows. But the problem is that everyone is so good. There's not necessarily
enough shows. There's enough shows. Come on.
I don't know, but any show that I take right now is taken from somebody else.
Contender Series. DC doesn't want to do Contender Series.
Okay, to be fair, I am shocked that DC's still doing the Contender Series.
I'm shocked. I tell him he shouldn't be doing Contender Series. Because
I don't know. He just feels so. I don't know. I feel like that's like Tom Brady being an analyst for like a high school football game. It seems weird to me to hear him on the Contender Series because he seems so much larger than that. But I know that that's Dana's baby, so maybe that's maybe Dana wants it to sound like that.
I would love to. I think you could be on a pay-per-view, a fight night, or a Contender Series. And I'm not trying to diminish Contender Series, but obviously there's a hierarchy. I think you would be so good, so thoughtful. You explain you've been there. You've done. I would love to see it. I would really love to see it. I think Alan Joban could be great as well. But you've been doing this on the desk a little bit longer. I would really love to see you get that.
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, it's just that I think that's really the holdup is just there's so many good analysts right now that are sitting cage side. Like I think Felder does a great job. I think Dominic Cruz does a great job. They all play different positions too. Felder and Cruz and Bisping do a really good job explaining the end by end stuff and exactly what's going on. DC's incredible at doing that, but DC sells it really well too. He makes you give a shit about maybe fights you wouldn't care about before. And I think that's where DC is his best. He could sell anything and it's just he make you emotional,
Passion, yeah.
Reminds me of Chael. Chael's very, very, very good at that too.
Chael doesn't often do the booth, and I tell him all the time he doesn't really want to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I think he likes the 1 hour desk here and there, and then he could chill for the fight.
Yeah.
I think he would be fantastic. I thought Bellator should have used him in the booth. I never understood why they didn't use him when they had him
Yeah,
there.
they should have. I think Eagle FC used him one time, and I thought he did a great job.
I
It's
didn't
fun to
get
listen to.
I didn't have the shoddy stream to see Eagle events. I couldn't know where to
Oh,
find them. I
okay.
was afraid
Well,
of
I mean,
getting.
if you want to listen, I'm an MMA nerd,
I
dude.
know
I watch it all.
you get bare knuckle, like bare
I
knuckle in
do. I
Iowa
do.
events.
For sure. I have a bare knuckle subscription, bro.
Wow, I know it still
Of
blows my
course.
mind. Do you watch you watch boxing too?
The ones that are big, yeah.
But like, will you
I watch
watch?
more slap fighting than boxing,
You're
probably.
crazy. What a company
Not at
guy.
all.
What, did
Not
you
at all.
download the
I'm
game
telling you,
as well?
I'm gonna start the Lionheart Slap Fight League. It's gonna be a regional
That,
show. We're gonna get the winners slap fight contracts with Dana.
oh, that's actually a brilliant idea. This is where you develop the talent. You'll be
Yeah,
like the LFA of slap.
I hope so.
Is
That's the
there
plan.
is there enough people out there doing this?
I don't know. Well, anyone's listening, hit me up.
All right.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of people.
Okay. Well, this has been
Why
nice.
you want to be at my first show?
No, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with it. I'm afraid that I'll get some sort of disease.
You're afraid you'll like it.
No,
That's what you're afraid of.
I'm not afraid. It's the lowest.
You're like the guy that won't go to the strip club because you know you're going to enjoy it.
No, that's not it. I have seen it. I have seen slap fighting, and
Yeah.
there's not an ounce of entertainment in that product. There's nothing that I find fun about any of that. And by the way, I like pro wrestling. I'm not like I'm not
we're just different people.
I'm not like a hoity-toity guy who's like above it. I like pro wrestling.
I don't know how it's not entertaining to you. That's crazy to me.
It is
It's
literally
the most entertaining shit I've ever seen in my whole life.
It is as entertaining as watching someone go into a car, sit down, and just put the pedal to the metal and smash into a brick wall. That's what it is. It's a human car crash.
Yeah. That's the point.
That's good. You like that? You enjoy this?
Yeah.
With all the great options
I do.
available to us in 2023, this is fun for you?
Yeah, I do.
There's no skill.
And I know everyone hates it. I know
There's no
everyone loves to hate on me
By the way,
for it. I
why
can't
aren't
help
you-
it. Why is everyone shocked that I like watching this shit? It's the craziest thing in the world to me.
Here's the thing.
I've literally spent my whole adult life feeding myself by beating people up for money. I don't know why that's shocking.
There's skill involved. There's technique involved. There's no skill. I refuse to believe that they train.
I'm an
those
evolved
guys.
Neanderthal.
The only thing they train, they pump themselves up with steroids. Apparently, why aren't you calling those events? For goodness sakes, talk about DC with the passion. You have the passion
in a
for
heartbeat.
this. You're like one of the few people.
I want to be one of the guys in the black shirts to catch their bodies. I just want to be involved.
Why isn't this happening? Call up your guy
I don't know.
Hunter.
I don't know. I didn't get in.
What do you mean you didn't get in? Did you ever express this to them?
I don't know. They gave that good job to Forrest.
Forrest, you should be in the broadcast booth. You should be one of the guys calling it. Forget that guy. I don't believe Bisping actually likes it. I think you actually like it.
I don't know how he felt about it at first, but it's grown on Bisping for sure.
You should be that guy. Do you need me to make a call? I'll make a call.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you could make a call.
Who's it? Candido? Borsari? I'll call them all. We're boys.
You need to.
We go way back.
You definitely need to call Candido. Tell him to get me on there as a body catcher.
That'd be great.
Hey, what's going on with the Bills?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down, but you guys too, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't talking shit.
It sounded like you were talking shit a little bit. Sounded like it. It's like the 6th year in a row, by the way, that we have to play at KC. I don't understand why this is. Do you realize this?
I'll be there. You should go.
I don't want to go there. I'm gonna another place where I'm gonna get a disease.
It's the best stadium in America. What are you talking about?
What is it called now? It's not even called Arrowhead anymore.
Geha.
Yeah, what is that?
Geha. I don't know. It's just the name of it. I'm sure it stands for
They're
something.
done. They're done.
Stadiums change so often.
Kelsey's dating a pop star.
I think that's a good thing.
No, he's not focused.
Yes. What are the most successful athletes like in life?
They're not dating
broken.
pop stars.
They're broken. She's gonna break his heart, and he's gonna have these demons in his belly.
Okay.
He's gonna play with a fire.
So you think
I need him heartbroken? Okay. I need Travis Kelce heartbroken.
Okay, so you think this ends in like a month or so, and then he just goes on a tear?
The world wins. Is it Travis Kelce's gonna break up with Taylor Swift, or she's gonna break his heart? He's gonna catch 1 billion passes for like 1,400 yards after that, and then like Taylor Swift's going to put out 5 albums full of songs about Travis Kelce, and everyone else gets to listen to that. The world wins.
I will say, increasingly over time, I do wonder if that 13-second game from a couple of years ago, I wonder if that was our window. That's the one that I think will stick with me forever.
You think so? You don't think you have a chance this year at all?
It's not that I don't think. I will always believe, and I will go to my grave believing and loving them. But that was a very disheartening performance against New York.
Yeah, especially with taking Aaron Rodgers out after 4
yeah, like
plays.
this guy. Speaking of a guy
I
like
wouldn't have been so shocked, like Aaron Rodgers goes out there
no,
and plays his magic, and you guys have a tough time because the Jets are a good team with Aaron Rodgers, I think, but
that
not
place
not
was
beating them without him
deflated.
is different.
That team was
Yeah,
shell shocked. Zach Wilson was the quarterback. Like you should have gone in there and stepped on their throat.
yeah,
And
it's tough.
they were just not prepared. But you know what?
We lost to the Lions too, though.
Yeah, but the Lions,
It's a good Lions team, though.
yeah,
Actually, it's a good. Their
no,
defense is
that is not the
incredible.
same. By the way, those two losses are not the same. But as you know, a little humble pie sometimes goes a long
Mhm.
way. So I'm hoping that what happened at the Meadowlands is a bit of humble pie, and now we go on a long stretch. I'm worried about Miami; they're good. I'm not worried about New England. I'm worried about you guys always.
Right.
Not worried about the Jets, of course.
I got a good friend that's a Bills fan too, so I always hope for the Bills to do well as long as they're not playing the Chiefs.
You guys have won enough. All right, can we spread the
No,
love?
no, no. Yeah, we'll lose them
Enough.
all as long as we don't lose to you.
But enough of the championships. Like you get one, you're good. I just want one. I just want one.
I
One.
want you to get one,
It's
but
kind of
that
you.
means that I don't. If that
You've gotten
happens,
enough. How many do
yeah,
you
it's
need?
fair. That's fair. All of them.
You want all of them? All right.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, this has been nice. I'm glad that we patched
Yeah, it's
things
been
up.
fun.
Good to have you back in my life. I'm sorry if I came
When
off
are
a
you going to
little.
come on the podcast?
Like, we talk about this every time. I'm telling
I
you,
know.
Bisping's
You need
afraid.
to.
He's afraid.
He's not. No, he's not.
He is afraid. He's got.
I'm going to tell him that
There's
today.
something.
We're going to talk about it.
I'm
We're going
saying
to
it
talk
on the
about
air.
it today.
Yeah,
I know,
I'm
we're
saying
gonna
it on the
talk
air.
about it
He is
today.
afraid. I love him. I will always support him. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Love his family. Callum Bisping turning into a bit of a superstar online, talking shit.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
cool.
he is tremendous. They're all great, but Bisping's afraid. I don't know what it is. Yesterday, by the way, I did a podcast hosted. Everyone's getting into it by Patrick Cote and David Loiseau. How about that blast from the past?
Really?
Yeah, they have a new
No
podcast in
kidding.
Quebec, French podcast, and I was one of their first guests. That was very cool for me.
Was it good?
It was great. They were lovely guys.
That's awesome.
Their
Patrick
setup was
Cote, I haven't heard that name in a long
their
time.
setup was great. They were in a studio. Like it wasn't like some sort of rinky-dink operation. It was really impressive.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
David Loiseau. I got a fight offer for David Loiseau when I was like, man, I would have had to been like 20, 21,
No way.
22. Yeah.
What promotion?
It's like just some rinky dink sideshow. It was weird.
And
It was the
what
weirdest
happened?
thing. It just never came about. Like I remember looking him up, like what? And I didn't even know who he was at the time. I swear to God, I didn't recognize his name. And then, then I go down the rabbit hole, like, holy shit, this guy's a legend.
Yo,
Crazy.
David Loiseau, my first favorite fighter.
Really?
Yeah, because
No
he's
shit.
from Montreal. He went to college right near my house, like literally 10 minutes from my house. I remember when he fought Charles McCarthy, the flying knee, the spinning back kick, flying knee,
Yeah.
UFC, I believe it was 56. Might have been a little bit before that, but I think it was 56. And I was like, holy shit, this dude, he was the first guy from Quebec in the UFC, which is where I'm from. And I was like, wow,
Right.
this is amazing. This guy's incredible. The Crow, he's got a cool nickname, cool fighting style. And then that led to GSP getting in and all that. But he was the first guy. He was the guy that I would tell my friends, like, there's a dude from Montreal in the UFC. And
That's crazy.
yeah, so it was like, it's kind of surreal for me to be on his podcast, to be honest.
And they were good. That's even better.
Yeah. Just
for
like
them.
you, Anthony.
Well, I hope it does well. Yeah.
It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. All right. Well, tell Bisping I say hi. Don't be scared, homie. And more importantly, we don't need him in our lives because we have you. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. And again, congrats on the win.
Thanks, Ariel. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right. There he is. Anthony Smith. What a guy. I mean, how could you not love him? Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel. So please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.